Let's get right into it. Popa langur. The Popa langur is a critically endangered primate discovered in the cloud forests of Myanmar. This snub-nosed monkey has one of the most distinctive faces in the primate world, with prominent white eye rings that contrast sharply against dark facial skin, and an upturned nose that gives it an almost whimsical appearance. What makes this discovery particularly fascinating is that scientists had specimens of this animal sitting in museums since 1913, yet it took over a century for researchers to recognize it as a completely separate species. The breakthrough came in 2020 when genetic analysis finally revealed that the Popa langur was distinct from other snub-nosed monkeys in the region. This monkey lives primarily on the slopes of Mount Popa, an extinct volcano in central Myanmar, at elevations between 1,000 and 3,000 meters. Its habitat consists of temperate forests where it feeds on leaves, seeds, and fruits while moving through the canopy in small family groups. The discovery involved an international team of researchers who painstakingly compared DNA samples from museum specimens with genetic material collected from wild populations across Myanmar. What they found was startling. The genetic divergence was significant enough that the Popa langur had likely been evolving separately from its relatives for hundreds of thousands of years. Physically, adult Popa langurs have gray to brownish-gray fur with lighter underparts, and males typically weigh around 10 kilograms. They live in troops of up to 10 individuals led by a dominant male, and their diet shifts seasonally based on food availability in their mountain habitat. During the dry season, they rely more heavily on seeds and mature leaves, while the wet season provides abundant fruits and young vegetation. The species is alarmingly rare, with current population estimates suggesting only 200 to 250 individuals remain in the wild, scattered across 4 isolated populations. Their survival is threatened by habitat loss from agricultural expansion, logging, and hunting for traditional medicine. Local communities sometimes kill these langurs, believing their body parts have medicinal properties, adding another layer of threat to an already precarious situation. The Popa langur serves as a stark reminder that even in the 21st century, species can hide in plain sight, overlooked in museum collections while their wild populations dwindle toward extinction. Conservation efforts are now underway to protect the remaining forest fragments on Mount Popa, but the clock is ticking for this remarkable primate. Rose-veiled fairy wrasse. The rose-veiled fairy wrasse is a breathtaking fish discovered in the twilight zone of coral reefs, a mysterious realm where sunlight barely penetrates. This stunning species was officially described in 2022 after being found in the Maldives, at depths between 40 and 70 meters, a zone that requires specialized technical diving equipment to explore safely. The fish earns its poetic name from the male's extraordinary coloration, which features brilliant shades of pink, red, and purple that shimmer across their bodies like rose petals wrapped in delicate veils. During courtship displays, males intensify these colors to attract females, creating one of nature's most spectacular underwater performances. What makes this discovery particularly significant is that the twilight zone, also called the mesophotic zone, remains largely unexplored due to the technical challenges and costs involved in reaching these depths. Scientists believe hundreds or even thousands of species may still be hidden in this dim underwater frontier. The discovery was made by researchers using closed-circuit rebreathers, sophisticated diving equipment that allows extended bottom time at depths where traditional scuba diving becomes dangerously impractical. At these depths, divers experience significantly reduced light levels, with only about 1% of surface sunlight reaching the reef. This creates unique evolutionary pressures that have produced fish with extraordinary adaptations and coloration patterns. The rose-veiled fairy wrasse belongs to the genus Cirrolabrus, a group known for their dazzling colors and elaborate mating rituals. Males are typically larger and more vibrant than females, which display more subdued coloration for camouflage. These fish inhabit coral rubble and rocky outcrops where they feed on tiny zooplankton, drifting in the current. Males establish small territories on prominent coral heads or rock formations where they perform their courtship displays, rising up in the water column while flashing their most brilliant colors. Females visit multiple males before choosing a mate, creating intense competition among males for the best display sites. The species likely has a relatively small geographic range limited to the central Indian Ocean, though researchers suspect similar species may exist in unexplored twilight zones throughout the Indo-Pacific. The discovery highlights how much remains unknown about our oceans, even in relatively accessible areas like the Maldives. As deep reef exploration technology improves, researchers expect to find many more fairy wrasse species living in the perpetual dusk of the twilight zone, each adapted to their specific depth range and local conditions. Jonah's mouse lemur. Jonah's mouse lemur holds the distinction of being among the world's smallest primates, with a body length of just 6 centimeters and a weight of approximately 60 grams. This tiny nocturnal creature was officially recognized as a distinct species in 2021, following extensive genetic and morphological studies conducted in northeastern Madagascar. For years, scientists had observed mouse lemurs in the region, but assumed they belonged to previously known species. However, detailed DNA analysis revealed significant genetic differences that confirmed this was an entirely new species to science. The lemur was named Microcebus jonahi in honor of Jonah Ratsimbazafi, a prominent Malagasy primatologist who has dedicated his career to lemur conservation. The discovery process involved researchers camping in remote rainforest areas for weeks at a time, using headlamps and mist nets to safely capture individuals for study before releasing them unharmed. What made identification particularly challenging was that mouse lemurs are incredibly difficult to observe in their natural habitat. They move quickly through dense vegetation in complete darkness, and their small size allows them to disappear into tree hollows and narrow branches where humans cannot follow. Physically, Jonah's mouse lemur has reddish-brown fur on its back, with paler coloring on its underside and a distinctive darker stripe running down its spine. Its enormous eyes, perfectly adapted for nighttime vision, allow it to navigate the forest canopy in complete darkness while hunting for insects, fruit, and tree sap. The eyes contain a reflective layer called the tepidum lucidum that amplifies available light, making them appear to glow when illuminated by flashlights. This species occupies a specific elevation range in the rainforests of northeastern Madagascar, typically between 700 and 1,400 meters above sea level. Mouse lemurs are solitary foragers that spend their nights leaping between branches with remarkable agility despite their diminutive size. They can jump distances of up to 2 meters, impressive for an animal that weighs less than a deck of cards. During the day, they sleep in tree hollows or abandoned bird nests, sometimes sharing sleeping sites with other individuals for warmth and protection. Madagascar is a biodiversity hotspot where new lemur species continue to be discovered regularly, but each discovery comes with urgent conservation concerns. Habitat destruction from slash-and-burn agriculture and logging threatens these forests, meaning some species may disappear before scientists even have the chance to properly document them. The rainforest fragments where Jonah's mouse lemur lives are under constant pressure from human expansion. Wakatobi and Wangi-Wangi tarsiers. These two tarsier species possess the largest eye-to-body ratio of any mammal on Earth, with each eyeball nearly as large as their entire brain. Both species were discovered between 2008 and 2010 on tiny islands in the Wakatobi archipelago of southeastern Sulawesi, Indonesia. For decades, scientists believed all tarsiers in this region belonged to a single widespread species, but detailed studies of their physical features, genetics, and especially their vocalizations revealed something remarkable. The Wakatobi tarsier lives on several small islands in the archipelago, while the Wangi-Wangi tarsier is restricted to an even smaller island of the same name. The discovery story began when researchers noticed subtle differences in the calls of tarsier populations on different islands. These primates are vertical clingers and leapers, meaning they grip tree trunks vertically and launch themselves between trees with powerful hind legs that can propel them up to 40 times their body length in a single jump. Their elongated ankle bones, which give tarsiers their name, act like springs to store and release energy during these spectacular leaps. Tarsiers are entirely carnivorous, feeding on insects, lizards, and small birds that they catch with lightning-fast reflexes. Their heads can rotate nearly 180 degrees in each direction, allowing them to scan for prey and predators without moving their bodies. This adaptation compensates for the fact that their enormous eyes are completely fixed in their sockets and cannot move at all. What truly distinguishes these island populations are their ultrasonic calls, which operate at frequencies beyond human hearing and serve as territorial markers and communication between family groups. Acoustic analysis revealed that each island population had developed distinct call patterns over thousands of years of isolation. Researchers use specialized recording equipment to capture these high-frequency vocalizations, which can reach up to 70 kilohertz, well above the range of human hearing, which tops out around 20 kilohertz. The calls serve multiple purposes, including territory defense, mate attraction, and maintaining contact between mothers and offspring in the dense forest. Both species are nocturnal and have developed remarkable adaptations for hunting in complete darkness. Their ears can move independently to pinpoint the location of prey, and their long fingers are tipped with adhesive pads that provide grip on smooth bark and leaves. The extremely limited geographic ranges of both species make them exceptionally vulnerable to habitat loss, invasive species, and natural disasters. A single typhoon or volcanic eruption could potentially wipe out an entire species, making their conservation status extremely precarious. Leaf-tailed gecko. The Uroplatus finiavana is a master of camouflage discovered in 2013 in the northern rainforests of Madagascar. This gecko earned its common name from its remarkably flat tail that resembles a dried, decaying leaf, complete with tattered edges and color variations that mimic natural decomposition. What makes this discovery particularly sobering is that scientists classified it as critically endangered at the very moment they described it as a new species to science. The gecko was found during surveys of Madagascar's dwindling rainforest fragments, and researchers immediately recognized it had the smallest known geographic range of any leaf-tailed gecko species. Its entire world consists of a tiny patch of forest measuring just a few square kilometers. The discovery team spent months searching the forest, often finding nothing for days at a time before finally locating individuals pressed flat against tree trunks. Physically, the Uroplatus finiavana has skin covered in intricate patterns and textures that perfectly mimic tree bark, making it nearly invisible when pressed flat against a trunk or branch. The gecko's coloration includes various shades of brown, gray, and even touches of moss green that match the lichen-covered trees of its habitat. This nocturnal hunter remains motionless during the day, relying entirely on its camouflage to avoid detection by predators and prey alike. At night, it comes alive to hunt insects, using its excellent vision and lightning reflexes to snatch moths and beetles from the air. The gecko's eyes have vertical pupils that can open extremely wide in darkness, and its toe pads contain millions of microscopic hairs that allow it to cling to smooth surfaces. These specialized toe pads work through van der Waals forces, weak molecular attractions that become powerful when multiplied across millions of contact points. Researchers needed persistence and careful observation to even locate specimens for study, as the geckos blend so seamlessly into their environment. When threatened, the gecko will flatten itself even more tightly against the bark and remain absolutely still, making detection nearly impossible. Some individuals were discovered only when researchers noticed their shadows or caught the reflection of light from their eyes. The species faces an uncertain future as logging and agricultural clearing continue to fragment its already minuscule habitat, threatening it with extinction before most people even know it exists. Local communities are burning forests to create vanilla plantations and rice paddies, activities that generate immediate income but destroy irreplaceable habitat. Conservation organizations are now working with local villages to establish protected areas and promote sustainable alternatives. Skywalker Hoolock Gibbon. The Skywalker Hoolock Gibbon was named after the famous Star Wars character, and this remarkable primate lives in the remote mountain forest along the China-Myanmar border. Scientists separated this species from the eastern Hoolock Gibbon in 2017 after genetic analysis and detailed studies of facial patterns revealed it was distinct enough to warrant recognition as its own species. The most striking feature distinguishing male Skywalker gibbons are their prominent white eyebrows that stand out dramatically against jet black fur, creating an expression that researchers found reminiscent of Luke Skywalker. Females display brownish-gray coloring with darker facial markings, a common pattern of sexual dimorphism in gibbon species. The naming choice generated considerable media attention, helping bring awareness to this critically endangered ape. These apes inhabit high-elevation forests between 1,600 and 2,700 meters above sea level, swinging through the canopy with extraordinary grace and agility. Like all gibbons, skywalkers are brachiators, using their extremely long arms to swing from branch to branch in a form of locomotion that can reach speeds of up to 55 kilometers per hour. Their arms are significantly longer than their legs, with an arm span that can exceed 2 meters in large males. Each morning, mated pairs perform elaborate duets, singing complex songs that echo through the mountains to establish territory and strengthen pair bonds. These vocalizations can be heard up to a kilometer away in the dense forest. The songs follow a specific structure, with the male beginning and the female joining in, creating harmonies that are unique to each pair. Researchers have documented that neighboring pairs will sometimes engage in singing contests, with each trying to outperform the other. These gibbons live in monogamous family groups consisting of a mated pair and their offspring of various ages. Young gibbons remain with their parents for up to 8 years before leaving to establish their own territories. The family spends most of their time foraging for fruits, which make up the majority of their diet, though they also consume leaves, flowers, and occasionally insects. Tragically, the Skywalker Hulock gibbon is critically endangered, with fewer than 200 individuals estimated to remain in fragmented populations. Their survival is threatened by logging, agricultural expansion, and the challenges of cross-border conservation between China and Myanmar. The species was hidden in plain sight for decades, classified incorrectly while its population steadily declined in the mist-shrouded mountains it calls home. Political instability in the border region has made conservation efforts particularly challenging, as researchers struggle to access study sites and implement protection measures across international boundaries. Ninja lantern shark. The ninja lantern shark is a deep-sea predator discovered in 2015 off the Pacific coast of Central America during a research expedition exploring the ocean's dark depths. This small shark earned its memorable name from its velvety jet-black skin and stealthy hunting behavior in the perpetual darkness between 800 and 500 meters below the surface. Researchers couldn't resist the playful reference when describing this elusive deep-sea dweller that seemed to vanish into the blackness like a shadow. Despite its dark coloration, the ninja lantern shark possesses a remarkable ability to produce light through specialized organs called photophores located on its belly. This bioluminescence serves a clever purpose known as counter-illumination, where the shark generates just enough light to match the faint glow filtering down from above, effectively erasing its silhouette when viewed from below by potential prey or predators. The photophores can be controlled individually, allowing the shark to fine-tune its bioluminescence to match changing light conditions as it moves through different depths. The species reaches a maximum length of approximately 50 centimeters, making it relatively small compared to its more famous shark relatives. Its body is slender and streamlined, perfectly adapted for maneuvering through the three-dimensional environment of the deep ocean. Like other lantern sharks, it likely feeds on small fish, squid, and crustaceans that inhabit the same lightless realm. The shark's teeth are small but sharp, designed for grasping slippery prey rather than cutting or tearing. Its large eyes are adapted to detect the bioluminescence produced by other deep-sea creatures, turning what would otherwise be complete darkness into a realm of subtle glows and flashes. The discovery was made using a remotely operated vehicle equipped with high-definition cameras and specialized lighting that doesn't disturb deep-sea life. The ninja lantern shark belongs to a diverse group of deep-sea sharks that scientists are only beginning to understand and catalog. Most lantern sharks were unknown to science until the past few decades, and new species continue to be discovered regularly as deep-sea exploration technology improves. The deep ocean remains one of the least explored environments on Earth, with some estimates suggesting we've explored less than 20% of the seafloor. Researchers believe many more lantern shark species await discovery in the vast darkness, hidden in depths that remain largely inaccessible to human observation. The challenges of studying these animals are immense, as bringing them to the surface often results in tissue damage from pressure changes, making it difficult to observe their natural behavior and coloration. Vangunu giant rat. The Vangunu giant rat is a remarkable arboreal rodent that can weigh up to 1 kilogram and reach a total length of 45 centimeters, including its tail. This impressively large tree-dwelling rat was officially described as a new species in 2017, but it had been known to the indigenous people of Vangunu Island in the Solomon Islands for generations. Local communities had reported seeing and occasionally encountering these large rats for years, but scientists remained skeptical until concrete evidence finally emerged. The breakthrough came when researchers deployed camera traps in the island's remaining forests and captured clear images of the animal, validating the traditional ecological knowledge that islanders had maintained all along. The journey to scientific recognition involved multiple expeditions and countless hours of camera trap footage before researchers finally obtained clear photographic evidence. The rat has thick, rufous brown fur and powerful jaws, capable of cracking open tough coconuts and hard-shelled nuts that other animals cannot access. It spends most of its life high in the forest canopy, rarely descending to the ground, and constructs nests in tree hollows where it raises its young. The species is endemic exclusively to Vangunu Island, meaning it exists nowhere else on Earth, and occupies a culturally significant place in local folklore and traditions. Indigenous stories describe the rat as a guardian of the forest, and some communities consider encounters with it to be spiritually meaningful. Physically, the Vangunu giant rat is built for climbing, with strong claws and a long tail that provides balance as it moves through branches. Its large size likely evolved due to island gigantism, a phenomenon where species isolated on islands often grow larger than their mainland relatives. This evolutionary pattern occurs when islands lack large predators and have abundant food resources, allowing rodents to occupy ecological niches, typically filled by larger mammals. The rat's skull structure reveals powerful jaw muscles, and where patterns on teeth from museum specimens suggest a diet heavy in hard materials like coconut shells and tree bark. Logging operations threaten the rat's remaining habitat, with large sections of forest cleared for timber and agricultural development. Commercial logging interests have been particularly active on Vangunu in recent years, removing valuable hardwood trees and fragmenting the continuous canopy that these rats require. This discovery exemplifies how indigenous communities often possess deep knowledge of local biodiversity that Western science takes decades to confirm, highlighting the importance of incorporating traditional ecological knowledge into conservation science.